People are saying this Neo character is involved for sure. Neo went on tour with David, and that is Neo. That there might have been some kind of romantic relationship. The individual was also spotted wearing the same identifiable clothing 12 hours before this. This is suspected to be Neo.
If he was wearing the same clothes, it's undoubtedly him. Okay, very interesting video. Did David's secret boyfriend cut up the body? What the actual Alright, let's just go straight into this, man. I don't even know.
Was David's secret gay lover the person who actually moved the body? I'm not joking, okay? This is a genuine theory that's going around, and there's more evidence for this theory than you might think. Okay, I'm keeping it real with you. I've got a lot of evidence that I'm going to show you in this video that makes me think that David might, in my opinion, have been in a gay relationship with Neo.
Neo?
And there might have been a whole lot of reasons why both of them wanted the alleged underage girlfriend of David to disappear.
Okay, first off, all right, David being gay isn't like the surprising part about this theory. I was surprised he was straight at first. I'm gonna be honest. If you just look at him, he for sure looks like if he's not either gay, he's bi-curious or something. Like, I ain't gonna lie. But Neo with a gay relationship with Neo, and also wow, like I ain't gonna lie, that's a lot.
Lined up, I'm gonna break it all down for you now. There is this crazy post that's currently going around Reddit that's saying, is David bi, and could he have been in a gay relationship with Neo? And that might have been what led to the murder of Celeste over jealousy. But before we get to that, okay, I've got to tell you everything that's been going on, because TMZ did post this today, and a lot of people have been distracted by the news that the body was allegedly frozen. They're overlooking this crazy, like, I can't believe what I'm seeing, okay? They've reported, and a lot of people have glossed over this, they're looking at the freezer now, but it's been reported a second suspect has been identified, and it was apparently the last person to use David's Tesla. LAPD homicide detectives have ID'd a second suspect in the death of Celeste Rivas, and it's someone who law enforcement says could be involved before, during, and after her death. Mark Garagos dropped the new info on the latest Two Angry Men podcast after speaking with people directly involved in the case. He said that law enforcement has done a stunningly impressive job connecting the dots in this case using a combination of cell phone and Tesla data along with location data from social media. Garagos and Harvey from TMZ both independently confirmed with sources that a central part of the case is a mysterious trip that David took to a remote area of Santa Barbara County in the middle of the night last spring. They had conversations with their sources, and investigators believed that her body might have been in the car, and Garagos insinuates various data showed the second suspect may have also been in the vehicle at that time. Who is this second suspect? Well, people have had a clue about this. People have had their theories about this for over a month. This was a post that came out quite some time ago when the private investigator, Steve Fisher, he said he knows who moved the Tesla with the body in the trunk. He basically inferred, okay, that he knew who it was that was the last person to drive the Tesla. It wasn't David. This was on October the 17th, 2025, over a month ago, okay? This is the second comment, the second top comment. The MF who moved the car right now, sweating. David and that MF. 1 month ago, Neo. All right, and they're cracking jokes here. Not even the Matrix will save him. But people thought a month ago that Neo was the last person who moved this car. And there's comments all over this post that are over a month old saying he has to be alluding to Neo moving the car.
Okay. Let's just think about this. Neo, like the pop singer Neo, right? Is that the Neo we're talking about? What would he have to do with David? Like, is David signed to Neo? Like, how's their connection to make like this connection, this whole connection?
Called him out on X a few days ago. He's not the kind of person that made substantiated allegations. It has me questioning Neo as well. Okay. People are saying, this is what Steve tweeted. He said, let's speculate the Tesla was moved the last time and left in the parking spot it was impounded from right before tour started in San Francisco. Who actually moved the Tesla the final time? You don't get answers unless you ask questions. So I'll ask, was it Neo? Just curious. People are saying this Neo character is involved for sure. Also, he said the car was moved before they went on tour. Neo went on tour with David, and that is Neo. All right? And
okay. Well, why the fuck did I think this was Neo? That the way he put it at the start of the video made me think it was actually Neo. So it's just one of his friends.
People are saying that there might have been some kind of romantic relationship going on between them. People are hating on Neo. It says, I went through his Instagram. He seems like the most brain dead F-boy. If it was him, no wonder the whole attempt of disposing of the body was so messy. All right, everybody's bringing Neo's name up. Comes up comment after comment after comment months ago, or over a month ago. And this theory, it's been going around a whole bunch. This hasn't just come out of nowhere. People are posting, what's with Neo? Why is everyone mad at him? People are trying to find out. And they're saying, from what the PI's been saying, it looked like he was the last person to move the car, and he would have known she was in there due to the smell. He's pretty much gone lockdown on all socials, and I think he posted something a couple hours ago with a song and some odd stuff. We don't know why he used the song, but it's some bad timing with weird lyrics that can be inferred as him essentially mocking, but more on acknowledging everything that's happening. Okay?
Interesting.
People suspect Neo because he's known David for years. He's very close to David and overly affectionate with him in photos, especially after February 2025.
Whoa.
There's easily 50 examples of the above. Steve made comments about Neo, and Neo's gone silent on social media. So this is another clip of Neo saying that he's known David for years
now. So, like, people thought that I met him through Sakura, but no, I've known David for years, and I met Sakura like 2 months ago through Tofu. And then my worlds just kind of combined together, and it just was kind of funny.
So they've known each other for years. So look, let's just get to it, okay? This is a post that's currently going around on the Celeste subreddit.
So let's say David and Neo was fucking, right? The theory would then be either Neo helped David hide the body in quote-unquote Celeste, right? Or maybe Neo Celeste, and maybe it was out of jealousy or some weird shit. It's a couple theories, because ever since the situation started, the main question I always have is, why was the Tesla in the body left on the streets of LA? That doesn't, if I somebody, I wouldn't just leave the evidence lying around. That shit seems stupid to me. So I've always had a feeling that somebody is setting David. Well, no. I have a feeling that David for sure was involved with it, but somebody's also trying to set up David to get him caught for this. Hey, maybe if Neo and David had a falling out, could be trying to get payback. I don't know. You never know. I don't know. This is an interesting development. I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of theories that could be formed with this, man.
Is David bisexual? Him and Neo could have been in a relationship, and maybe he got jealous of Celeste or something, which could have led to her death. I just don't understand how someone else would be so willing to chop up a body unless they had hatred for the girl too. The TMZ article is disturbing. This can't be okay, my girlfriend just OD'd and this is a way to cover it up. There's a reason the LAPD is still treating this as a homicide. Even if it wasn't Neo, the other person had to have had hatred and had to be deeply close with David. I get that David could have paid someone off, but David is someone I literally just heard of from this case. He's not some top-tier Diddy-level celebrity. Or probably David and the other suspect her together.
David's pretty famous. He's pretty famous, and he probably has a good amount of money to where he can get lawyers and potentially, especially with his label. He's going like, I can see his label trying to defend him.
And they both felt they had to cover it up together. And honestly, this just confirms they knew Celeste was a missing child because they know they had plenty of time since no one was looking and no one cared. This is exactly why missing children should be deeply prioritized. Let's go for the vulnerable. And people are in the comments. Some people are saying it's more likely they both had an obsession with gore and wanted to experiment with it together. People are saying it's truly disturbing, like if they both did, why choose to act on the obsession? Like, did they feel it would be swept under the rug since she was missing? And why is she in the trunk now? At that point, if they ate her,
oh my God,
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yo, what?
Now, people are saying they're asking the wrong question, okay? But this isn't new. This isn't something that's just been made up. A lot of people are saying David, Neo, and Asia seem like they were all together in some kind of relationship.
He def gives off DL vibes. I mean, yeah, I feel like he's giving off DL vibes. Eating Celeste is interesting. I ain't gonna lie. Niggas seen that Jeffrey Dahmer documentary. They think everybody like Jeff. I ain't gonna lie. Shit. But, I mean, hey, David does seem like a weird guy. Wouldn't put it past him.
Some people are saying David definitely is bi. He seems depraved as F, and he probably hurt animals as a child. Okay, but there are other things that are going around that seem to hint towards something weird going on between them. This was a post that went around, and this was 16 days ago. Neo and the elephant in the room. He posted this. All right. This is just a little something, all right? This is just a little something on top of all the other stuff. But he said, LMFAO forgot I'm not allowed to make any jokes or do anything remotely gay now. And then he posted this rubber band in the shape of a ding-dong. And he said, they're definitely going to think you're gay for this one. Okay? Now, a lot of people were hating on him. They weren't coming at the bisexual angle, but they were saying, how do I make myself the main character? In awe of his dissonance. You were in the close circle of a PDF and potential murderer. There are very little crimes more horrendous than this. Ever since Celeste had been identified, this man has continued partying in LA, called the situation nothing, and complained about people calling him gay online. I don't think I met many people with such low levels of empathy. And people have been calling out that Asia girl, saying she's no better. She's a sociopath. Okay, they're saying all of these could have been avoided. He should have made a statement that said, RIP, I'm sorry this happened. I had nothing to do with it. I'm working with the LAPD to bring justice.
That does bring a big point. Why is he so silent about this? Well, nah, silence does make sense from a legal standpoint. You don't want to, if you're involved with the case, you don't really want to talk about it. But why are you involved with the case? It does make you look guilty. I ain't gonna lie. It does make you look guilty. You obviously had to know Celeste if he was close to David. You obviously had to know what was going on. Yeah, he ain't say nothing. So wouldn't put it past him to, help get rid of the evidence. Especially if he loves David.
It doesn't sound like that's what's happening. Okay? As people who are never involved in hiding a murder, it's almost common sense to us to want to do that. He's saying it because so many people on Facebook and Instagram are saying he and David are actually gay lovers and plan to kill Celeste to be together. He's saying I would say something too.
But there's nothing wrong. Okay, no. Okay, and here's where that theory. Here's the devil's advocate to that theory. Why would they have to kill Celeste? I really do think Celeste may have OD'd, and David and I guess Neo knew it would have made headlines, and David probably would have got locked up for it, or it would have been bad. So they decided to try to dispose of it. That's what I really think happened. It just doesn't. I don't know. I don't put it past David to, but it doesn't make sense. I don't know. It's weird. It does. I don't know. This whole situation's weird. I can see him, but I think the OD angle is what really happened, and they just covered it up. Something's telling me that.
It's crazy. David's got comments on posts on Neo's page.
Because they wouldn't need to kill Celeste to be gay lovers. I don't know.
Talking about who else cried / came. Is it a joke, or is he serious, or is it the truth said in jest? He's talking about looking at posts that Neo's put up and saying he came, and then Neo's replying saying I cried and came on you. Is it a funny joke? Is it a funny joke with some truth behind it? Is it a funny joke that
you never
goes
know.
Absolutely,
you never know.
To try and distract from maybe something that was really going on, trying to make a little light of something that is actually really going on? I don't know, but I do feel like there's a lot of very strange things like this. People are saying, looks like the cleanup was incomplete. David's comment is still on this guy's page, part of the original crew. He made a statement calling a dead child being found in his friend's car nothing, and he's still partying.
Wait, he said that's nothing? Oh, God.
It up on his IG stories. Does anyone know what this guy does? Looking at his Instagram, it seems like he's just some regular school-aged kid, and I wonder how David got acquainted with them. Okay. So there's a number of kind of...
Yeah, they're gay. I ain't gonna lie. This photo alone. I'm gonna be honest. You see that pose? You see that lean? You see that look in his eyes? Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. They bi-curious, man.
Pouty pictures of them together, and then there's also this picture that's been going around, right? David and Neo...
Look at where his hand's at, man. I ain't gonna lie. Sounds gay, I'm in. I mean, you can't make it more obvious. I ain't gonna lie. Yo, they for sure bi-curious, man.
Laid out together. They look like they're on the floor with some, cushions laid out. And David's wearing a shirt that says, sounds gay, I'm in. And he's got his hand tucked underneath Neo's waist.
Yeah.
Right? There's nothing wrong. Look. Any kind of love, any kind of sexuality is cool with me. But when bodies are being found in trunks and people are suggesting that this might have been the person who moved the it's starting to look very suspicious, right? And people...
Yo, this is gonna go triple platinum on Netflix, gang. I ain't gonna lie. This documentary finna go crazy. I ain't gonna lie. Because, this is gonna go crazy.
People are saying that these images are being scrubbed from the internet. Okay, they're scrubbing any pictures that they had together, all of these things. People were saying,
oh, shit.
His entire Twitter account was glazing David. Then he deleted all of his David.
Why would you delete the tweets or the pictures? Doesn't make sense. If you think this whole case is nothing, why would you delete all of that? Doesn't add up. It doesn't add up. Doesn't add up. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. The more and more I'm hearing this tape, the more and more it's sounding very... very possible. I'm not gonna lie. It would make sense for him to help his gay lover, let me stop saying his lover to hide the body.
Related tweets. I think he would have made a statement by now. He crashed out on the YBG streamer over smaller things. I personally think he's lawyered up or being investigated. Never asked Neo why he touchy with the girls. Santi OSCS. It's another picture here. Neo with the girl in the background that a lot of people thought was Celeste. Is that David and Celeste in the back? And people are saying this is the other Celeste, Celeste Herrera. And is that David and the real Celeste?
Whoa.
Right? Now, there's an interesting comment here, okay, that actually is underneath a post that's basically all about the news about the body being allegedly frozen, okay? And this is an interesting comment that kind of touches on Neo. It says, so with this awful news that she was decapitated and frozen, it tells me that they took their time on deciding what to do with the remains. Knowing teens, or almost teens, they eventually forgot about it for the most part, as David probably left it in Neo's capable hands. Again, I believe he is the alpha in all of this. More concerned about his upcoming tour and concert at Coachella at the time, how should the police proceed from here? My 2 cents, if Neo is only an accomplice after the fact, then they need him to flip and give him a deal. If, however, he actually took part in this from the beginning, some posters here think Neo and David were romantically involved, then it would be difficult for the cops to get a confession, and they will have to put this case together through circumstantial evidence, which will be difficult. Praying for
I ain't
justice.
gonna lie, niggas on Reddit are better than the police, bro. Yo, the way people are putting this shit together, gang, bro, y'all need to put on them LAPD uniforms and get this case done by sundown, gang. I'm not gonna lie. Because you just tied all of that in perfectly, gang.
For Celeste.
So
this was the...
He would be, if he was the confirmed accomplice, he would be the perfect man to try to flip. But if they was really gay lovers, I don't think he will do that easily.
Original post 2 months ago that Neo...
And the fact that they froze the body and cut up in the remains, is they tried to make it seem, they tried to make it, the body unidentifiable, bro. They really tried to cook her from the planet. Really tried to hide the evidence. The only thing that went wrong, the car was found. Why was the car found? We still need to know this information.
After cleansing his socials of any mentions of him or David, he said, eventually I'm going to say something.
Why you say it like
but
that?
I kind of hate forcing myself into solitude, because people on the internet assume the worst in people and will make up legit anything out of nothing. He's calling it nothing. So eventually I'll say something when I'm ready to. Love all the real people that have been kind to me and don't make false assumptions. Right? People saying they're wondering how much they know. All right? So he says that people on the internet will legit make anything out of nothing. Nothing. A dead child in his bro's car trunk is nothing. Interesting, if not sociopathic take on the matter. All right?
It sounds like he doesn't care about this.
Now, this was a whole month ago. Somebody put together an entire activity timeline of everything that Neo has been involved in, all right? This is Neo's activity timeline. So let's just look at all the stuff where Neo is mentioned. They're saying, after the PI's statements caused some concerns, I thought I'd do a timeline regarding Neo's whereabouts according to his social media profile.
Y'all better than the police, man. A whole timeline, gang? You got dates? Oh, shit.
Understand that picture dump style posts consisting of images.
If I'm an investigator or I'm an officer, I'm going through these Reddit threads, bro. All of the evidence I need is right here.
That are taken over a time period, and not necessarily one.
They doing all the work for y'all.
So I will decrease my focus on such posts. Do also note a lot of his social media is deleted or privated, so I'm going on what I have and what his friends posted. Okay. So it says here, 25th of July, Neo was. Is this? Hang on. All right, so I'll just focus on all the stuff where Neo is kind of mentioned and he's relevant. Okay, 25th of July, he was seen partying on David's IG stories, photoed wearing a grey ribbed knit sweater. Then on the 2 days later, he was seen partying on IG wearing David merch with a giant Labubu. 29th of July, David's black Tesla was seen moving for the last time on surveillance by an individual wearing identifiable clothing who immediately went on tour afterwards. The individual was also spotted wearing the same identifiable clothing 12 hours before this, entering David's Vieira Drive residence. This is suspected to be Neo.
That's big. Right there, that's big as fuck. If he was wearing the same clothes, it's undoubtedly him. He's the person who moved the car. That's big. So he is an accomplice. That's why he doesn't care. That's why, you feel me, it's nothing. And I ain't gonna lie, I didn't want to say this, but that IG post he made, we going back. The one saying, oh yeah, Of course, I'm finna speak out because people are accusing me and shit. No, but why is it necessary to post that? Why should it even be necessary for that? If you're really not guilty, you just stay silent about it. You don't care. You wouldn't have to defend your name so hard. I ain't gonna lie. I think he was for sure an accomplice. I think he for sure was the second person. And the police are keeping silent about it because they're probably trying to get him on their side to confess. But I think he for sure is the second person. This case should be solved a lot quicker. Once they identified that, they could really move a lot quicker with this.
David had a show in San Francisco. Nia and Asia were both seen with him. His IG highlights showed him celebrating Tara Yumi's birthday. David is photographed at the same event wearing a bright red shirt, and Neo allegedly is still wearing the red fishnet shirt with 28 on it. And they're basically saying that that was something that he was wearing on the 28th of July. So his little outfits are getting him caught up, right? And David's continuing to play these shows. David's been on tour. 5th of August, tour date in Del Marcio. Neo posted, "We got shut down" on his IG story in the middle of the road. People are unsure if it was at his tour or another unrelated party. Neo hasn't been seen in David's vlogs. Neo's not seen. David's vlogging, he's doing shows, but he's not been seen. And then on the 9th of August, Neo posts himself at a concert in a mosh pit. Okay. Not sure if it's David's show or another unrelated party. He continues posting himself on Instagram on the 10th of August. He's partying in LA on the 16th of August. And then, a little bit of time passes, right? Different people are seen, and eventually the car is found, all right? The car is towed, and he was still seen partying on IG. He's out in LA partying nonstop, partying with influencers.
They just be living their life, gang. They living their best life. Over here partying and shit all the time, man. I ain't gonna lie, knowing what they did, that's sociopathic, man. That's very sociopathic.
Non-stop, all through September. The body is found inside David's Tesla on the 8th of September. She's not identified. And on the 13th of September, still partying. Right?
Again, why would they leave the body on the street? If Neo was David's mans, why would he leave the car on the street? I didn't admit, it's just not making sense. Did they want to get caught? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't. It just doesn't to me. Did they want to get caught? Was Neo setting up David because he maybe felt bad about, whatever happened between David and Celeste and, her dying? Why? Was this his conscience that made him park the car? Bro, they could have just drove the car off the cliff or pushed it off a cliff or some shit. Nobody would ever seen it again. Body in the trunk. Why park it in the streets, man? I just don't understand.
The body's identified on the 17th. David cancels his tour. He's seen at TwitchCon. Seen partying again. He's partying. He's having a great time. Halloween party. Says, with that, we can see that Neo was consistently hanging out with David before his tour. He was also partying almost daily. We can confirm that Neo was present at David's tour dates in California, but not in other states. He was confirmed to be back in LA by the 10th of August. This means he cannot be completely ruled out as the person who moved the car initially before David went on tour, or moved the car last any time before the 27th of August when David's car was marked. People are asking here, what is Neo's role in David's life? Is he like his media manager, tag along, or just a friend? Do these young folks work? Help me understand this bizarre anime culture. And people are saying he was extremely close to David. If they did work with him, he was probably an honorary title. Another commenter mentioned that Azio was a videographer and photographer.
That's what he was.
I didn't find anything in his album credits to support that, and I checked till 2023. Now, some people on Reddit, they believe that Neo actually went back to David's mansion whilst David was still on tour. This was the first show of his tour where he went Hello Kitty on them, and he asked his crowd members to throw the boo-boos on stage, and he's chilling there with Neo. All right. Swipe image. The first day of tour, David had the digital camera on him. After the California shows, Neo didn't stay for the rest of the tour. A digital camera was found by the private investigator Steve Fisher at the mansion with Celeste's last photo. Neo must have probably went back to the mansion and left the digital camera. Why? Who knows? Speculation.
It keeps, I think Neo may have set him up. I think Neo may have set him up, bro. I really do. It's why are you leaving evidence? Why are you leaving the car out there? If you did leave the car out there, it's not adding up.
Says, I remember watching one of his blogs and Neo was there with a group. Someone asked him if it was his crib, and of course he said, no, this is David's. Maybe he was given the key regularly. It's not like the manager would have one key if he lived out of town. So they're thinking he might have been back inside of the mansion. One theory's going around where they say, my theory, David, Asia, and Neo could have possibly given Celeste drugs to have hushed her because they didn't want her to expose David and things went left. This is only a theory. But somebody says, this is my theory on what could have happened. If you disagree, that's fine. I'm not stating it's factual.
Let's lock
Keep it
in
straight
this
to the
one.
point. I feel like the
I've
whole
seen this
group
theory
was
before.
together. David, Asia, and Neo, and maybe whoever else is in this group, and Celeste was there, and she could have said something or did something that could have made them scared or triggered fear of David being exposed for being in a relationship with a minor. And knowing them, they probably all feel like they have to stick together because they all kiss David's ass. David's the meal ticket. So they could have possibly isolated her or gave her something or a drug to kind of calm her down or relax her to be quiet. She could have possibly OD'd or things went too far. And instead of David stepping up and helping her, they let her pass away instead of rushing her to the hospital. That's when they covered everything up and put her into his car. I feel like this could have happened between February and April in a sort of private area. North of Los Angeles, perhaps?
Santa Barbara?
Then he took that Santa Barbara trip to possibly go meet up with someone, I feel like a male, to get advice on how to handle this situation, or possibly to get rid of her cell phone, drugs, or whatever evidence. I don't know, but I feel like this was one big cover-up. For some reason, I feel like Asia definitely knows the details, because I get the feeling that Asia never liked Celeste. But regardless, investigators should see who he knows in Santa Barbara.
Well, I would hope you wouldn't be hating on a 14-year-old child. And if you didn't like her, I hope you just didn't like her around y'all, because she was a 14-year-old child doing unspeakable things with a grown adult. Yeah, his whole friend group just seems weird. I ain't gonna lie.
Track his movements there. Now, this is another theory that's crazy that's going around. I've seen a few people saying this. It says, I think David killed Celeste and tried to frame Neo in the others. That's why he asked Neo to move the car right before the tour. Now, in his defense, he may say it was them trying to frame him. This is my theory.
Okay.
He could also store the body in the freezer.
Some anime
right before
shit.
the tour, he placed it in the trunk. The narrative would be that he did not use the car for months, or that he did let his friends use it. Certain people on the internet were bringing this narrative into circulation.
This is something that Lelouch from like Code Geass would come up with on some crazy shit and just pull it off and it would just work. I ain't gonna lie. You know ball.
But other people say, I think someone was paid to take care of her body with the machinery found at the house, but the car got towed too soon. The plan was they would all be on tour to have alibis. I think it's a very...
No, that would be stupid. Why would, if they was gonna do that, why would they put it in David's car? They would just put it in a random car. Somebody else who they wanted to frame. Doesn't make sense. And if David really wanted to frame Neo, why wouldn't he just put it in Neo's car? Doesn't make sense. Or have somebody put it in Neo's car. Doesn't make sense. They could have found a way.
Interesting theory. Now, there's a few cursed images going around of this little trio. Asia, David, and Neo. And this is one that's interesting that got posted yesterday. It says, David states these people are family. Every last one of them have wiped their pages clean of him, and the rest of the pages are private. It says the fam. Asia, David, Neo. I don't know if that's Celeste Herrera. I'm not sure. People are saying, this is the most shallow family I've ever seen. Everybody was quick to saving their own asses once the case got traction. Clowns. And I remember those screenshots shared by one of the Redditors from a sub who got a text saying she's known Asia for a long time and she has no involvement in the case. Plus, his friend also added that Asia was not close with David. Well, here it is. The picture clearly shows they were close. Family.
Man, they snaked them. I ain't gonna lie. As soon as bro got cut up with the allegations, they made sure to wipe their own asses clean, bro.
The fam.
When they most likely knew about this whole situation. There's no way they was this close to David that they ain't know about this, man. I ain't gonna lie. It's crazy, man. I ain't gonna lie. You see how people do it.
The fam. But I don't, he doesn't really, barely even knows it. Family, dump a body, I barely know him. But no,
that's crazy.
Now they scrub the pages. Right, pages have been scrubbed clean, but it doesn't.
This just seems guilty, gang.
Doesn't wipe the past clean.
Screams guilty.
Right? People are saying they're all involved, or some are. All of them, including David's management or immediate PR team, are cooked. And I think Neo is the main one who did a lot of the dirt. People say, dude, I've been saying this. I think Neo is who the police were referring to when he said they had help dismembering. People forget David is short as F. There's no way he's lugging a body around on his own, let alone moving her. It would also make sense why she is dismembered as well, because David is really short.
Yeah, you just
Neo,
wanted to
from
say
the
that,
beginning,
gang.
he's been acting nervous as hell. If you got anything to be nervous about, or if he ain't got anything to be nervous about, then why is he trembling where he stands? That's not an innocent boy.
It
The
doesn't
photos
look
from
like
the
one
Winter
either.
Tour before they shut it down, Neo looks so bad, like bags under his eyes. He looks just sick. Maybe he is sick, I don't know, but he's the most definitely involved one.
Hey, I agree. Neo looks sus. Looks like he's scared. Wrote a whole paragraph because random people who are just trying to figure out what's going on in the case, started accusing him. Made that whole paragraph, made him look more guilty. Just saying.
That's what a lot of people are saying. Now, this was a post that Neo made. This was going around the David 2 subreddit 17 days ago. It says, Neo posted for the first time in a while, look at the choice of song. That fuckboy is either tone deaf or taunting a dead 14-year-old on purpose. And he posted the Playboy Carti song, Stop Breathing.
Interesting.
That's a classic Playboy Carti song where he's talking about all the gang wars and murders that have secretly been going on that, you know what I'm saying? People don't realize that Playboy Carti really blood, really five, like that. But to be playing the song Stop Breathing in the background.
Very interesting.
And he said, I've got the people going crazy watching all my moves. It's a little bit suspect.
Very
People are saying
interesting,
he's as
chat.
insufferable as that imbecile David. Okay. People saying that there's all weird little things that Neo's posted, posts and unposts. Unsent projects. People are saying there was plenty that was pretty sus, but this is my smoking gun. Posted in September the 22nd, 2025. It says, hey buddy, it's me. I'm sorry for everything. I hope you and everyone can forgive me before my time is up. The Sent Unsent project to Neo.
Yeah, he looks guilty. I'm going to be honest.